Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the world's least important recording projects ever. Or the least important recording projects ever. Whatever you want to call it. That's what it is. And here it is. Oh, God. Leonard Bernstein, the Remastered edition. Oh, now I trashed this on ClassicsToday.com. And if you're a Classics Today Insider person, you may want to have a listen and look at that review and listen to some samples. Here's the problem with the Remastered edition. Now, as you know, Bernstein was a genius. He was one of the greatest conductors ever, one of the greatest musicians ever. He's an amazing, amazing, amazing talent. But he has an organization, Bernstein Productions, which works with Sony, and they are exploiting his legacy every which way. I mean, like, unbelievably. And they have constantly come up with new ways to reissue the same stuff over and over and over again. And each time they do it, it becomes less important, right? Unless you say, well, it's not really a project because it wasn't specifically recorded for this box. Well, it was, in the sense that everything had to be specifically remastered and it was curated to be in this box. And that's the problem. What you get is 100 discs out of a much larger discography containing someone else's idea of what matters, of Bernstein's legacy. And their idea of what matters is going to be nobody's idea of what matters. And the total result is that none of it matters. You see? It's perfect logic, isn't it? Just unassailable. Look, here's the deal. I am not going to go through all 100 discs. But when I reviewed it originally, I was so angry with the way this was put together that I gave it like a 5, which really isn't fair because the performances are superb for the most part, right? I mean, it's Bernstein. It's his best stuff, a lot of it. I mean, I can't argue with that. So that wasn't really quite an accurate assessment of the performances. However, the problem is that they're arranged in a way that's just not helpful. I mean, let's put it to you this way. Here we have, comes the beautiful book. You always get a book. Nice coffee table book. You can put on your coffee table. And it has, pictures and, track listings and all kinds of stuff. And that's lovely. However, as I said, let me try and explain why this is so unimportant. So, what was Bernstein famous for? Well, Mahler. And how much Mahler is in here? They have to pick something. Well, they picked his Mahler 3. That was already issued in the Bernstein's Greatest 10, whatever it was, box, right? So if you have that, you already have Mahler 3. And then they did Mahler 6 and 9. And is that it? And Das Knaben Wunderhorn. They did that. And some other things like that. And that's it. So there are other wonderful Mahler performances. He did all the symphonies. So you don't get the cycle. And remember I just said people should stop doing cycles? Well, one of the reasons they should stop doing cycles is because people like Bernstein did cycles. And if they do that, you should have the cycle. So who else did he do like complete things of? Sibelius, right? He did Sibelius. He did a Sibelius cycle. So where's Sibelius in here? I'm looking on these spines. Oh, the Mahler 2 is in there too. Okay, that's nice. But you don't get 4, which is fabulous. And you don't get 7, which was amazing. So I don't think you get it in here. Maybe it's in here, is it? I don't know. I can't tell. I don't think so. No, I don't see it. So Sibelius. You get Sibelius Symphony number 5 with Pochula's Daughter and the Violin Concerto. See, they've added some things to it. The Violin Concerto is with Francescatti. It's okay. But I think that's it for Sibelius. And you really need to hear more of his Sibelius. What else was he amazing at? Haydn. Oh my goodness, Haydn. Phenomenal. You get 2 of the Paris symphonies. That's it. When the guy did the best set of Paris symphonies ever, and you can get, why not just put both discs in there and do the Haydn Paris symphonies? It's one of the greatest things Bernstein or anyone ever did, but it's not there. Oh, here's numbers 88 and 102. Why not do the rest of the Paris symphonies? 88 and 102 were, they're very, very good, but they're just out there somewhere. And 88 was very early and not in great sound. Remastering, by the way, doesn't make any difference. It's not important. I'm telling you straight out. Beethoven. All right, so Beethoven. Let's see, you get the Haydn Harmonia Messe. Well, that's nice. So Beethoven, let's see, we got, you have a little Beethoven here. Piano Concerto number 4 with Glenn Gould. Ugh. You get, let's see, Beethoven Rachmaninoff Piano Concertos with Philippe Entremont. Ugh. Beethoven 5 with Bernstein's lecture on how it was written. And I think that's about it for Beethoven. So you don't even get Beethoven, the Eroica. Okay, you get the Eroica. And that's it for Beethoven. One of his great performances of Beethoven was the 7th. See that here. Then there's, of course, plenty of Bernstein doing his own stuff, which has been done a million times. And, talk about flogging a dead horse. How many times are they going to flog? You see where this is going, right? The Beethoven Violin Concerto with Isaac Stern. Okay, it's very good, but who cares? Really, who cares? And then you've got Schubert's 8th and Mendelssohn's 4th. Okay, but look, okay, I'm stopping. I'm stopping. You see the point. Somebody threw this together. Somebody picked a bunch of things from Bernstein's discography. Some of them are well known as among his greatest recordings. Some of them are not. No one's writing home about his Saint-Saëns organ symphony. Ugh. It's okay, but his Bizet Carmen suites and Grieg Peer Gynt, that's just the stuff they throw in these things to try and be all things to all people, and they wind up being nothing to anyone. That's the problem. So, my friends, I'm sticking this back. I'm putting the lid on it. I am keeping the lid on it. I don't even know why I kept this. It's 100 discs of Bernstein. And it almost doesn't matter what they are. And because it was put together with such a lack of organizational savvy, or even insight into what the best things Bernstein did really are. Because if you did those, you would not have all of the, it doesn't have his Nielsen 3 and 5. At least I don't see it. It says New York Phil, Columbia Symphony, Vienna Phil. The Vienna Phil is his fall staff, by the way. And which is wonderful, but okay. So you see, it's not that the performances are bad. It's the way that they're arranged and the range of stuff. If you're a serious Bernstein collector, if you want 100 discs of anybody, 100 discs of anything, if you're going to make that investment, you want something that has reasonable completeness, reasonable intelligence in the way it's put together. You have Bernstein, the great symphony cycles, Bernstein, but it's all been done. It's just all been done. There was the symphony box, then there was the concerto box, there was the vocal music box, all on Sony. Never mind Deutsche Grammophon, all on Sony. And then there was Bernstein's own stuff, conducting all his own stuff. Then you've got all the small boxes. You've got the Sibelius cycle, you've got the Mahler cycle, you've got the Beethoven cycle, you've got one after another. You can get them all separately. You can. And they all sound fine. They're all just good as this sucker. So, yeah, it's one of the least important recording projects ever. Case closed. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.